Today, let's chat about pushing ourselves, about going beyond what's normal to achieve something amazing. Think about everyday moments where we have to make decisions. These choices, big or small, shape who we are. I'm not talking about picking breakfast. I mean the tough choices that scare us, that make us step out of our comfort zones. Inside each of us is a power we often ignore, the ability to push ourselves even when we'd rather procrastinate. Remember the last time you really didn't want to do something? It might have been a hard chat or a giant project. We've all been there, right? When the easy choice is to say, I'll do it later, but later never comes. That's where the magic happens, in taking action. It's not just about knowing stuff or being talented. It's about using what we've got. Even if you're super smart, it's like having a library of books you never open. So how do we tap into this power? How do we push ourselves to act, especially when it's tough? That's the journey we're on today. It's about knowing why we're doing something, even when it's uncomfortable. Let's dive in and explore how we can make this happen together. Now, let's talk about something we all face, putting things off and feeling lazy. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They're like time thieves, robbing us of our precious moments. They creep up on us, whispering promises of doing it later or some other day. But guess what? Later never really comes, and some days never arrive. It's like sinking in quicksand. The more we delay, the deeper we get. But here's the good news. Just as we can fall into this cycle, we can also break free from it. The key? Action. Immediate, deliberate action. It's the antidote to procrastination and the enemy of laziness. Now, I know what you're thinking. Starting is hard, and you're absolutely right. It is. Getting going is often the toughest part. But remember, every journey starts with a single step. It's about taking that initial small step, not a giant leap. The magic lies in the momentum you create once you begin. It's like pushing a car. That first push takes all your strength, but once it starts rolling, it gets easier. So how do we start? First, set clear, achievable goals that excite you and light a fire within you. When your goal is crystal clear, procrastination loses its grip. Then break these goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Make them so small that they seem almost silly not to do. It's about tricking your mind, making the tasks seem so easy that procrastination can't find a way in. And what about laziness? It thrives in the absence of a strong why. You need a why that's so powerful, so compelling, that it pulls you out of the comfort of inaction. Your why should be like a beacon, guiding you through the fog of laziness, reminding you of the bigger picture, the reason you're doing what you're doing. But remember, it's not just about external goals, it's also about respecting yourself. Every time you overcome procrastination, every time you choose action over inaction, you're building self-respect. You're saying to yourself, I am worth the effort. My dreams are worth the effort. And believe me, there's no feeling quite like looking in the mirror and knowing you've kept a promise to yourself. That's the kind of self-respect that builds empires and changes lives. Now let's dive into the importance of positive habits in our journey of personal growth. Habits are like the threads in a tapestry. Individually, they might seem small, but together, they create the beautiful picture of our lives. The quality of our habits determines the quality of that picture. Think about it. How many of our days are spent on autopilot? We wake up, go through our routines, and before we know it, the day is over. Now imagine if those routines, those habits, were all designed to push you towards your goals. That's the power of intentional habit formation. But how do we form good habits? It starts with awareness. You must become a keen observer of your own life. Ask yourself, what are my current habits? Are they serving me or holding me back? This level of self-awareness is the first step towards meaningful change. Once you've identified the habits you need to change, it's about starting small. Too often, we try to overhaul our lives overnight, but that's like trying to lift a weight that's too heavy for us. It's unsustainable. Instead, start with small, manageable changes. Want to exercise more? Start with a 10-minute walk each day, not an hour at the gym. Small successes build momentum, and momentum leads to bigger successes. But forming new habits isn't just about doing, it's also about unlearning. It's about breaking the chains of old, unproductive habits. This is where discipline comes in. The same discipline we talked about earlier. It's about making choices that align with your new goals, even when it's uncomfortable. Remember, comfort is often the enemy of growth. And speaking of growth, let's not forget the role of consistency. Consistency is the secret ingredient in habit formation. It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, but what we do consistently. This might mean making small sacrifices like waking up earlier or turning off the TV to focus on a project. These sacrifices might seem significant in the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, they're the price of success. Now, forming new habits isn't just a solo journey. Surround yourself with people who embody the habits you want to adopt. We're social creatures, heavily influenced by those around us. If you're surrounded by disciplined, focused individuals, it's much easier to adopt those traits yourself. And remember, habits don't just impact our actions. They shape our identity. Every time you practice a good habit, you're telling yourself, this is who I am. You're building an identity as someone who takes action, who values discipline, who strives for excellence. But let's be honest, change is hard. Old habits die hard, as they say. There will be days when you falter, when the old ways beckon. In those moments, it's crucial to remember why you started. Reflect on your goals, your dreams, your vision for your life. Remind yourself that every habit, no matter how small, is a step towards that vision. And when you do slip up, don't beat yourself up. Growth is not a linear journey. It's a series of ups and downs, successes, and setbacks. What matters is not that you stumbled, but that you have the courage to get back up each time. Each setback is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become even stronger. So, as we wrap up this part of our discussion, hold on to the thought that your habits are shaping your future right now. The choices you make, the routines you follow, they're writing the story of your life. Let's write a story of success, of growth, of becoming the best version of ourselves. With the right habits, there's no limit to what we can achieve. Let's continue to build those habits step by step, day by day, until they lead us to the life we've always dreamed of. Let's talk about routines. You know, those little habits we do every day without even thinking about them? And they might seem small, but together they shape our lives. Imagine if every routine you had was designed to help you reach your goals. That's the magic of intentional habit formation. So how do we build good habits? It starts with paying attention to what we're already doing. Take a look at your current habits. Do they help you or hold you back? Once you know what needs to change, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Small steps lead to big changes. And remember, breaking old habits is just as important as forming new ones. It takes discipline to make choices that align with your goals, even when it's uncomfortable. But that discomfort is where growth happens. Consistency is key. It's not what we do once in a while that matters, but what we do consistently. So stick to your new habits, even when it's tough. And don't forget about your environment. Surround yourself with people and things that support your goals. Finally, be patient with yourself. Habits take time to form. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. And when you stumble, don't give up, learn from it, and keep moving forward. With time and effort, your habits will lead you to the life you've always dreamed of.